the young and the restless spoilers. Paris, a city of romance and light, had now become the backdrop for one of Ashley Abbott's darkest and most dangerous challenges. What was meant to be a brief reunion with Alan took an unexpected turn, plunging her into a terrifying game of deception and survival. Alan had returned to Paris suddenly, leaving Traci behind, which had struck Ashley as odd from the beginning. But upon seeing him, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. The unexpected reunion, Ashley's suspicion. As she met Alan in a small cafe overlooking the Seine, Ashley quickly realized that he wasn't the man she once knew. There was a chill in his eyes, an unfamiliarity in his gestures. The way he held himself, the pauses in his conversation, it was as though he were wearing Alan's face, but something far more sinister lurked behind his eyes. Despite her initial hesitation, Ashley forced herself to remain calm and observant. She watched for any inconsistencies, questioning him about their shared past and the nuances of their relationship. But with each question, her suspicions only deepened. The man before her flinched at familiar references, his responses vague and evasive. The revelation hit her like a bolt of lightning. This wasn't Alan at all. This was Martin, an impostor wearing Alan's life like a mask. The realization, unmasking Martin. The situation became increasingly dire as Ashley uncovered more of Martin's deceptions. He had somehow managed to take Alan's place, fooling nearly everyone in his life. The reasons for his scheme remained unclear, but Ashley understood that Martin's motives were far from innocent. She was faced with a choice: either expose him and risk her own safety, or quietly flee and leave her family vulnerable to his plans. Determined to protect the Abbott family, Ashley chose to stay and find proof of Martin's deception. She began her own private investigation, delving into details of Alan's past, checking his financial records, and uncovering discrepancies that only confirmed her fears. But she couldn't take her findings to the authorities without concrete evidence, and Martin had covered his tracks too well. The danger of discovery, Martin's threats. Martin soon became aware of Ashley's suspicions, and his demeanor grew darker. He began watching her more closely, his charming facade slipping to reveal a predator lurking beneath. Ashley felt his presence everywhere, around her hotel, in the streets of Paris, in every corner where she sought safety. The realization that she was truly alone in this battle sent chills down her spine. One evening, as she was returning to her apartment, Martin appeared in the hallway, blocking her path. His smile was sinister, his eyes cold and calculating. "Looking for something, Ashley?" he asked, his voice dripping with menace. Ashley forced herself to remain calm, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her veins. "I know who you are, Martin. You can't hide behind Alan's name forever." Martin chuckled, a low, unsettling sound. "You're alone here, Ashley. There's no one to help you. No one who would believe your story." A desperate struggle, Ashley's fight for survival. Realizing that her life was in danger, Ashley knew she had to act quickly. She began reaching out to contacts in Genoa City, but without sufficient evidence, her pleas for help fell on skeptical ears. Even her family, who cared deeply for her, found it hard to believe her story from thousands of miles away. Undeterred, Ashley continued to gather whatever proof she could, tracking Martin's movements and documenting every inconsistency. Her days were filled with constant vigilance, her nights with uneasy sleep as she braced herself for Martin's next move. Then, one night, Martin cornered her in her apartment. The confrontation was inevitable, a clash between a woman fighting for her life and a man whose plans she had threatened to unravel. "Do you really think anyone will believe you?" Martin sneered, his voice a menacing whisper. "One word from me, and you'll be nothing but a tragic accident in Paris." Ashley's heart pounded, her instincts screaming at her to escape. But she held her ground, determined to protect herself and the Abbott family at all costs. "You can't keep up this charade forever, Martin," she replied, her voice laced with defiance. "People will find out who you really are." A physical struggle erupted, with Ashley fighting for her life as Martin attempted to silence her. The intensity of the moment pushed Ashley to her limits, her survival instincts kicking in as she fought against Martin's grip. But just as her strength was waning, the door burst open, and a figure emerged, none other than Jack Abbott, who had finally arrived to rescue his sister. The final showdown, Jack's intervention. Jack had been alerted to Ashley's danger by one of her contacts in Paris who believed her suspicions about Martin.